Hey guys, welcome back to Eversoul. In today's video, we are checking out Velanna. Now, it took me longer to get this video out than I expected because I was hard stuck on 4-5 for about 2 days. Even using level 200 mercenaries, I was just stuck. I think my team was about 147 when I got there. It was 160 by the time I cleared it. What, 14.5 was just a nightmare. But now that we've cleared it, I cleared a couple other stages using Velanna. And so now I want to show you guys the recordings of those, show you what I think about her. But in general, let's look at her skills. I'll talk about it and then show you guys the replays and then jump into the stage I'm at and show you some of the issues that I do have with her. But in general, from the people that I've spoken to that are further than me, they are really enjoying her. Mine is still stuck at this Ascension. I still call it Mythic. I look it up every day and I always forget what this Ascension is called, but that's where I'm stuck at, basically just because of food. Now, if you remember my summon session, I had 15 left to do. I did a 10 pull, got another one, so we've got those 2 copies sitting there as well, so we can get her to Origin on copies, but I think I'm 2 summons away from finishing the banner, so I will finish the banner with 2 singles and get another 2 copies of her, but we're just stuck on food basically. We just don't have the food that we need to go ahead and get her there at the moment, but it will be nice once I get the food and I can take her all the way up to Origin. That will be wicked. But in general, some thoughts about her. Her main skill. Issue with this one is your bleeds aren't up very often. The way I've found to make this the most optimal way to play it, because obviously we want to be hitting like bleeding targets to get the crits, because it's nice. Now, the way I've been playing it is holding out on her main until I use her ultimate, because her ultimate does hit everyone and put the bleed on them. And then if you can, just save out on using your main for a little bit, get the ult off first, they're bleeding, then everyone that's hit with the main is going to get the guaranteed crit, and they're also going to get the stun for 2 seconds. So I like trying to optimize it like that. It works pretty well. The problem with her main is this 5 meter length. The 5 meter length is not far enough. So if you've got enemies that basically... if you got melee enemies and ranged enemies, essentially, you're not going to hit the furthest ranged enemies with this main skill, which kind of sucks, which means I'd love to see some more knockback units placed into the game. We did have Clara, but then she got it removed. So knockback is going to be very beneficial for her in the future, I think. And that's something that I think I'd really like to see with her. I try and use Adrienne to drag enemies in and stuff like that. But once again, this thing is very frustrating that the range is only 5 meters forward. It would be really nice if it was just like infinite forward. So, but you can't get everything you want. This sub skill, the 2 sub skills, this one's it's based around her positioning. So this one, you're not reliably bleeding enemies unless she's in the middle of a bunch of them, because it is a short range as well. So not too bad when you are bleeding them, but I think in the future, at the moment, I just don't have the units, but in the future, pairing her with bleeders is probably going to be the way just so you can maximize it. Not too sure how I feel about that yet. We'll have to wait and see. Then we got this one. Obviously, this skill is nice, giving the magic resistance and physical resistance. She just needs it. She's very squishy. She's very, very, very squishy. Then we go on to this passive. The lifesteal's really nice. Like I said, if you can do ultimate into main, she can get a good chunky, like 50% heal out of both of those back to back. When you do the ultimate and then follow it up with a crit from the main skill, it's not too bad. But in general, just like general progression damage, like just from her sub abilities, she's really not healing anything from it. So her sustain is something she really lacks, in my opinion. Keep in mind, mine is only at level 161. The rest of my team's at 160. If I pump her up to 180, I'll probably find it to be different. It's just the stage of the game that I'm at the moment. Like I said, ultimate, really solid ultimate. The thing about the ultimate is if you look at it and go, oh, it doesn't do too much damage when I use it, just keep in mind you got that bleed dealing a ton of damage on top. So that also really does help. So that's the basic look at her kit. Her artifact, it's really nice that it gives tanky stats because, like I said, her tankiness is a bit off for me. And then we just get gradual crit damage increases, which is really nice, especially when you have an effect that can guarantee you landing crits. So that's a basic look at her kit. Like I said, people that I've spoken to further than me are really, really enjoying her. I've only been able to test her on a few stages, so my testing has been limited on what I can actually, show you guys. But I can still show you what I have tested and just basically just get a feel for it. So unfortunately, like I said, I was in a bit of a stuck stage when I started. So Let's jump over here and take a look at this replays, and I'll try and show you the basic stuff I was using her in the last 2 stages that I cleared. So this is going to be the one over here. So let's take a look. Basically, this stage we had the enemy, what's her face? Jacqueline. So I just chucked her in the back to deal with that Jacqueline, just to take a Jacqueline hit and then run away. And then obviously it also maximizes the attack that she can get. Now, the other problem that I have with her is that I don't have many other undeads that are viable, like in Ascensions and stuff like that. So I don't, you know, if I change my team up from this I've got a 3-piece bonus, but quite often in teams I'm going to end up with no bonus, which does hurt as well. So also, you know, it depends what your account is stacked with. So mine not being stacked with undeads does sort of hurt her usefulness a bit as well. So let's jump in, let's take a look at this replay and see what we do. So just shifting up the formation there, obviously putting them in the middle, try and group everything up to the middle and focus on it there. I really wish the game would give us replays after the battle like they do in Arena. So then I don't have to like record forever and then show you guys this botched up like replay screen. I don't know. It really frustrates me, but it is what it is. I've messaged them to ask them if they can do it. Let's see. So yeah, we're going to start getting some ultimates. I think I put it on manual over here. You'll see, I believe this is the one I put it on manual, because I really don't want her to use her main skill first. Oh no, maybe it's in the next one I do. But yeah, because you really want to use that ultimate, and then look, you can see the damage she dealt there, but then you've also got that bleeding damage that keeps ticking away. So it is pretty decent damage that she's capable of dealing. So let's just go into this, and we should get into another one. As you can see, everything getting pretty low. That clutch invincibility came in an absolute treat, and the shield just getting there in time. Get a couple kills with this, or one, not even. Okay, so here's the ult. Boom, decent, and then we go straight into another main. And then there's the big wipe. So honestly, it's quite respectable damage. Like, I'm quite happy with it at the moment. She is higher ascended than anything else I have. But like I said, I've got my issues in my team and where my account is on what I have to invest into her. But at the moment, really liking her. I think it's a great investment. If you're looking for a damage dealer, I think it's a fantastic banner to pull on in general. If you've been saving up free to play, you know, I think she's a pretty solid unit. Plus, she's going to be great for me in the Undead Tower as well. So that's going to be handy on top of that. So if I can go here and check out the next replay, I'll show you guys the next one. And I think I did 2 tries in this. So I think we wiped once and then we went into it. So this stage here, we went in with this formation, I think it is. So this is a heavily offensive team. As you can tell, they basically just got all attackers. So it was like, I brought the extra sustain with the Jiho to try and live that early bit, but then I've still got my 2 main damage dealers in there as well, to, you know, just basically clap them as hard as possible. So I've gone for a bit more of a balanced approach in this one. Survive early game into clap. And that was the basic strategy here. And it actually worked pretty well. So if are we playing? Yes, good job. All right, so let's take a look at this one. See how this one went. Loading screens. Okay, rip. Okay. So she ran into a pretty decent spot there. So this enemy team's really good the way we advanced on them so hard, just due to the fact that Dora starts the battle back because she applies her debuff, her buff, I guess you call it, straight away, where she sacrifices her health. So she starts back. So like a frontline Dora is fantastic for us, because it means like the whole enemy team is grouped up. And as you can see, they stay pretty grouped up early. We do manage to live here. And as you can see, I'm just spamming on her ultimate so I can get the ultimate out and then go into the main. And you can see we do a good chunk of damage. We heal ourselves completely back up to full. And this is like the ideal situation that you're using her in, when you can hit all enemies with that main skill. Like I said, it doesn't happen often, but in that one, you know, and it, like the fact that she basically just completely topped herself off, like from like with like a 60% heal with that combo of abilities, is fantastic. And that's what she can do. Now you've got to be careful for cleansers and stuff like that as well, which can hurt her. But in general, that type of situation is where she just absolutely dominates. So that was sick. So let's jump back over into the game here. And I'll show you the stage I'm at. I'm not going to clear it, but I'll just show you what I'm looking at, and show you some of the issues that I am having with the range on her main skill and stuff. So, oops, I just actually, the connecting issue, geez, can we please get that fixed? But yes, so let's get into it. Let's take a look. Let's see, loading screen. Okay, so what's this formation I've gone with here? Okay, that's right. So here, this enemy team's got a lot of pressure and also a bit of tankiness, so this one's really frustrating. I've got it on manual at the moment. I forgot I had it on manual. So let's get a shield out. Let's get a sleep happening. Get a sleep happening, please, please, please. And this is where, like, I put this one on manual because I really want to get her ult off before her main. And this is the reason we do that. So now we can go ultimate. Come out of that, and then we go straight into the main. And as you can see, we're missing, we missed the Vivian and we missed the gun chick at the back. That really frustrates me with the range on her main skill, and that's where you can get into this little pickle with the main skill where it doesn't have the range. So she wasn't able to hit the whole team, even though it felt like she was pretty close. So that 5 meter range on that ability is a little bit frustrating. And that's probably my main nuisance with her. So you really got to play around that. But like I said, at the moment, this stage is, this one's pretty tricky. I might even drop her for this stage and just go back to like a Naya. At least this way, it gives me multiple options. So I'm actually thinking about something like this for this stage. If we go in with something like that. It just depends if Vivian gets hit, because if Vivian gets targeted, I'll have to put the Naya front row and then she'll lose out on some damage. But once again, this isn't really highlighting what Velanna can do. But, you know, you're going to have to keep mixing it up from time to time. And in that previous formation, I believe I didn't have the faction bonus either, which was kind of painful as well. So it's a mixture of what you have in your account on how you can optimize the play of her. But in general, I think Velanna's a great unit, and I'm waiting to see how she falls into like an end game PvP meta, but it depends, you know, when we get there. So that's what we're looking at the moment. Let's see if we can actually get this, even though we're not using Velanna. Let's see if we can do it to show that she's not needed, and then you guys don't have to pull for it. Can we get the invincibility, please? That would be fantastic. Yes, we can. Okay, perfect, perfect. Oh, I didn't put it on manual to stop canceling it. Rip. Can we ult? Can we ult? Ult with you. I was gonna do the Vivian. Yeah. This is just a tough stage, okay, guys? We'll leave it at that. Anyway, guys, that is Velanna. Like I said, in general, I'm pretty impressed. I've heard fantastic things as well, so definitely not a bad one to pull for if you do want to go for it. Plus, she looks absolutely wicked, so that helps. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.